to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check, waifu. King Telliano, is that you?
Whoa there, bro there.
This is episode 240 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Patreon. Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu. Make sure you go to patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu to get early access of the video version of this podcast, to get access to the bonus conversational podcast, The After Story, to get access to Take Talks and Mic Check mangas, etc. We appreciate y'all for supporting us over on Patreon. Shout out to our brother, might as well call him blood brother, CJ, aka Kyle Wolf, who supported us over on Patreon. Thank you so much for joining the crew, bro. We love you. We appreciate you. But the show couldn't be done without the Patreon producers. Shout out to the Patreon producers, the archivist, Christian, Dre, the Go G, Rob from Dad Needs to Talk podcast, Ked the Pro from Chaotic Culture, Explicitly, All for One Matt, Monique Williams, Nachi, Semi Sensei, Frozen, Saphir, and T Money Fingers. Thank you so much for producing this and many other episodes of the podcast. We appreciate y'all. Couldn't do it without y'all. Mic Check Waifu is the anime podcast is brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. CT. Where we bring you anime seasonal topic conversations, etc. This week is the midterms, the midway point of the winter anime season, and we're going to discuss that in great detail. But before we get into that, tell how you feeling.
I'm great, bro. I'm real good. It's been one of the smoothest weeks I've had in a while. I normally don't get a lot of sleep. I ain't had to fight to get sleep this week. Which is crazy because normally it's like 4 hours and that's my max amount of sleep in a day. I got 6 to 8 hours of sleep each day this week. Other the day we record, because that just don't happen that way. But other than that, literally every other day I've gotten a ton of sleep, which is great. And then we spent a day. We got a hotel downtown Houston, and we spent some time downtown Houston. Kids loved and hated it. So my wife and I, we are not like, and I like going out. I like doing different things. But I am not I like my stuff. You know what I mean? Like I like going out, experiencing the things, but I like my stuff, and my wife and I both realized that's us. So we had one of those experiences this weekend, and it was kind of funny, but it was a real good week. How about you, Brolo?
Nice, man. It was an enjoyable week for me as well. Y'all probably won't hear that episode for quite a while, but I finished recording the Wonder of Anime, which is my episode is titled The Wonder of Clannad. So be on the lookout for that. It's coming out next month, I believe she said. So, which was a great time over with Lisa at the Wonder of Anime. Make sure y'all check out thewonderofanime.com. Fantastic conversation. She's one of the best interviewers I've ever talked to, and just all around, just a great person. Like, I don't think nobody deserves their flowers more than she does, because she is absolutely phenomenal at what she do. Very, 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 very talented with just talking to people and just having a good time. And her energy is unmatched, man. You can't beat her energy. It's top tier. So we had a lot of fun discussing Clannad, in trying to convince people to play it, or to not play it, watch it. But very interesting conversation. I loved it. I mean,
Clannad does have a game though, right?
Yeah, it started off as a game in 2004. So it was a visual novel first before anything else, which is funny. But yeah, make sure y'all check out that episode. I would appreciate that. It's coming out next month. Now, outside of that, We're here to talk about anime in these midterm seasons, in this midterm season, I should say. But before we get to that, what was your episode of the week this week?
Yeah, this week has been tough. And hear me out. It's a science to this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know how we always talk about the 3-episode rule?
Mm-hmm.
The Heat Week rule aligns with 3-episode rule. It's got to.
Or as we called it in the past, the turning points, you know, for a lot of stuff.
So this week was hard. It was so hard to pick an episode of the week. But I chose Seventh Time Loop. And I feel like we both gave a gut check and we were both right.
I was fucking like almost 99.9% accurate with that gut check last week. It's crazy.
Yeah. But we were still both like, because, you know, I remember I said what I said. I said the brother got something on the older brother where he's trying to fix something. And regardless, Seventh Time Loop is crazy. Great, man. That's insane. Great episode this week. So what was your sleeper, bro? Or not your sleeper, your episode of the week?
Yeah, it was going to be Seventh Time Loop as well, unfortunately. No, you know what? I'm changing it.
There's a lot of really good episodes this week.
I'm changing it. It's going to be The Dangers in My Heart. I'll give it to that this week, just to give it to something different. Because that show is absolutely special. I say this often about that show. It's a top 10 slice of life, man. Easily. The Dangers in My Heart has some of the best character development you will see in the anime. From season one, moment one, you don't think it's going to turn out to be as good as it is, and it flips shit on its head. It was a phenomenal episode this week. So Dangers in My Heart deserving of episode of the week this week, alongside Seventh Time Loop. It's unmatched. It's unmatched, man. It's so fucking good. Before we get into the midterms, anywhere we want to go before that? Because the midterms is kind of a deeper topic, but I want to get all the other stuff out the way first before we start talking. So
I text Polow earlier today.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And what exactly did I say? I said that the name of this episode should be "Why I Hate Shangri-La Frontier." Hear me out. When I said that today or this week is Heat Week, I meant it. To me, this could have been this was the best episode of Shangri-La Frontier. And also, it was the worst. I hated this episode, even though I loved parts of it. Do that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it was like it gave us the climactic everything that we had been asked for, but I feel like it stuck to the trope that it gave us in the previous episode with the revival or Phoenix Down like feature kind of thing.
Phoenix Down, I love it.
That was so irritating because it no longer felt like a strategy, but more like a plot device they had to lean on to continue the progression.
Yeah.
That felt garbage. It didn't feel like this skill-based game that they were trying to make it out to be the whole time.
You know what I'm saying?
It literally felt like garbage. And then they're throwing in the information that they normally do that is completely unnecessary to what's happening in the fight. Like, yes, we get it. You got 30 seconds before Clear Sky Conquest finished. I don't want to go too much into detail for those who haven't watched it specifically yet. But it to me, it made the meathead in me feel like this is stupid.
Yeah, no, it's everything I say about why I hate the show. It's just, and I hate it. Hate it is a strong word. Hate is Black Clover. Hate is Fairy Tail. This isn't hate. This is like just I'm over it. I'm just fucking over it. But the beauty is wasted on it, man. It's wasted on it.
It's crazy.
The art and the animation is so fucking wasted on a show that isn't. And this is gonna sound mean as fuck, but take it for what you will. It's wasted on a show that's undeserving. It truly is.
And it even makes, and this is like what makes me like love it and hate it at the same time, right? Because like to me, and like I said, I'm not as versed in MMOs as Polow is. I'm more of like, and even Polow plays JRPGs, but I love that like philosophy of the game and how like it goes from this. Okay, this character is using one specific move. This character is using one specific move, and it changes in the cycles. that makes a lot of sense, especially in like JRPGs for me, because a lot of times they go into cycles, and even in MMOs, I imagine they have like cycles in which they attack, like not Breath of the Wild. I was gonna say, and then Breath of the Wild does it too, but Monster Hunter. Mm-hmm. The things you're fighting, they have cycles that they go through, or phases that they go through in a battle where they change their attack frequencies and styles and combos. And I love how they're demonstrating that. And even like it felt climactic, but I feel like the leniency that they gave the characters and the writing made it feel shoddy and poorly planned, and like they did not actually care about that. And it makes it, and I hate it because it's like a good concept idea for a game, 100%. But y'all are giving us a horrible actual representation for it. But I know people are gonna love it, so
yeah, and they're gonna love it for
just like I'm hating it.
Yeah, they're gonna love it for the reasons you mentioned, and it's like, but I don't know. Again, it's very untrue. Like, and I said this when we talked about it before, but it's very untrue to what an MMO is. So I hate the fact that it's using that as the game, like it's a VR MMO. Like even Sword Art was more grounded, I guess, for lack of a better term, than this is when it comes to like the systems and within it. And I said that from moment one. The systems just don't feel like an MMO, and that's just me being I don't know, picky or whatever, but. Again, the show does what it does. It still takes its time. This episode was a little bit longer than normal. It normally is, but it still had that stupid SLF theater bullshit that lasted way too long.
But even the cutting of that made this episode awful. Like so much better. You think it made it worse?
No, the fact that it's in there still is what I'm saying. I feel it being awful, because if it wasn't in there, we still would have had 2 more minutes of show that they could have gave us and kind of capped it off at a point where it made more sense than just capping it off at the right end of the battle. Like, you can give us a little bit more than that. Obviously you can, but again, just a way to drag it to 25. I don't know. It's something. It's something.
But you feel me though, right? You don't 100%. Think I was out of line for saying what I said?
No, once I watched it, I'm like, yeah.
Because you feel me. I had to text Polow. I was like, yo, man.
I get it. Because I didn't even watch it yet because I was prepping for something. But no, you were all on the right base with that for sure. Because I'm like, okay. But it looks so good. Like to end on a positive note. It looks so fucking good.
It felt climactic. Like a lot of it felt important.
Mm-hmm.
They did a good job in places they have never done good jobs for this specific anime. And I was like, man.
Now, did this need to take 5 episodes?
No. Oh, for sure not.
Absolutely
for sure. Absolutely. Was this 5 episodes? I thought it was longer. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
It might have been longer, to be honest. But yeah, they didn't need 5 episodes. That's for damn sure. All right. Moving on. Now, so for those uninitiated to Mic Check Waifu, like I said, this is the midterms. This is the point where we talk about the midway point of the anime season. So for this particular case, it's the winter anime. A lot of episode 6s. I think there's maybe only one show that's not at its midway point. No, it's a couple. It's Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy, Hokkaido Girls, and that's pretty much it that matters. To me, per se, but we're basically covering shows. Now, this doesn't count shows like Free Rent. This doesn't count shows like Apothecary Diaries, but it does count returning shows that have season 2s like Banished from a Hero's Party and Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy and etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to give grades to the individual shows and then give an overall grade of the season at the end. But we're also going to incorporate a lot of our friends and listeners from Twitter and Discord on what their grades is for the season. And I think that's where we normally start, right? So we start with the listeners. Yeah. So we're going to continue that trend and start with them. I'm going to start on Twitter, if you don't mind.
Okay.
There is quite a few, and make sure you follow us on Twitter at Mic Check Waifu, and then join our Discord. Go to miccheckwaifu.com. And on the right-hand panel, there's a link to join the Discord. So join that and join the anime talks we'll be having there. But I'm going to start. I like to try to start from the bottom with the very first person. which is always Crystal. Love her to death. She's amazing. And her taste is immaculate. But she says, I think I'd give this season a B+. Just a couple of shows are preventing it from being an A-. The shows I knew would be good are great. Shows that I thought would be just decent. Seven Time Loop and Dr. Elise, for example, has amazed me. And then you have the ones that are just okay, which very, very accurate, to say the least. So she gave it a B+. I will, I'm gonna say my thoughts for when it's time, but that is pretty much the general consensus on this season is around that range. Yeah. I think we have one that's less than like a B, which is TCB, to be fair. He's coming later on in the show, and we got one from one of the Patreon producers, All for One Matt. He says, I give it a solid B+. 7-time loop solo leveling Tales of Wedding Rings and the wrong way to use healing magic has been great. Couldn't agree more there.
Yeah, I mean, so I looked and I kind of feel like that is a little bit of the consensus as well, that B+ area is solid for the season. The season had a lot of things that we were not expecting to be as good as they were.
Yes.
And then there's some things that definitely hold it back. So I agree with that.
Interesting. Okay. I can't wait to get to our discussion then. Let's keep moving with the listeners. And I'm going to go to Rob J. Rob J from Inside the Mind of a Blurred. And Shogo Ha, dope dude, great friend of ours. He says, for me, from the stuff I'm watching, a solid B. I'm going to add 7-time loop and healing magic to my list and watch later. Winter season has been mad okay for me though. And see, in this, I'm gonna just say this, Rob. There's a lot more. I think if you had those on your list, or if you watch those, your score will probably be higher. Because I'm not sure if you're watching Hokkaido Girls or, I know you're waiting for Classroom of the Elite to be dubbed and done. I mean, there's the Unwanted Undead Adventurer. That's a great show as well. Like, there's some shows I think that you can have to this list. Is basically the winner has been stacked. I'm gonna just say it. It's fucking stacked.
It is. It's a very stacked season. There's so much good to watch that if you just throw aside all the bad stuff, you still have at least minimum 12 B to A tier shows to watch.
Yes.
Which is why a B+ is really good, because you think about it, like normally you don't have that many like A quality, B+ quality shows
100%
in the season.
100%. Shout out to Frozen, another Patreon producer. He says a B+ and very enjoyable season. He added Freerun, which we can't really count to be a part of the season, but even still is as great as accurate, because he says Freerun solo leveling, 7-time loop undead Unwanted Undead Adventurer, and the Apothecary Diaries has been weekly must-watch shows for me, which is absolutely true. But again, shows from previous seasons don't count this season. But I completely agree with it, because the ones you just mentioned there, and I think it was it him in Discord that mentioned The Witch and the Beast got better? I think that was Frozen. Yeah, and that's something we will probably never ever find out. Shout out to him.
I'm planning on finishing it, but
him and TCB are the ones that said that's liking it so far. And then to go to the last one on Twitter is from Rob, Dad Needs to Talk podcast, another great friend of ours who we really want to have a conversation with here soon, hopefully. But he says, I'll give it a B+. Been really enjoying the variety of shows this season. Crazy thing is having dope new shows while still having the greatness of Freerun and Apothecary Diaries too. A solid way to kick off 2024 anime. And the GOAT couldn't have said it better himself. It's like this season, the start of 2024 anime has been spectacular. I think it's been probably one of the best seasons starts ever.
Now,
I need to go to you and tell me what's been holding it back for you.
The stuff that I'm going to finish.
Ah, okay.
So like Witch and the Beast, for me that's like a D+.
I got you.
Rouge, while I don't hate it, it's like a C-.
Okay.
B plus.
Interesting.
So like, if I throw those in, I feel like they dramatically downscale what we already have.
But okay, so here's what we need to take into consideration there, Montel, because think about it. The show, we about 30 deep. It feels like 20, roughly about 20 deep. Okay, with that, I mean, I'm gonna stop being facetious with what I'm, with the words I'm speaking, and just talk literal terms. But we're about
you're not that far off.
True, we're about 20 shows deep into this season. If you take into consideration the chopping block or the shows that you don't need to watch, like you don't have to force yourself to sit through, because there's still 20 other shows that you can watch and enjoy. Why do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why continue to finish those? I guess is my question to you.
And I say this with the idea of like, if I literally just base it off of everything that I know I'm gonna like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I can just say I'm only gonna take the A shows and watch A's and be like, winter season was an A plus. Why?
Yes.
Because I only watched Signs of Perfection, Seventh Time Loop, and in like three others.
Okay.
So if I only watch those, then it's a guarantee A, and I don't think that's
true.
completely fair. You know what I mean?
But in my thought process is the opposite of that. The absolute F's that drop, right? We gave the 3-episode rules. There's just shows we drop. Like, for instance, The Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil. Shows like that. I do agree, do have their place within the grades, right? But when it comes to the overall season, if they got the 3-episode rule, is that not enough? You know what I'm saying?
And that's still a rating to the season, though, right? Like, if it's not good enough to finish, what is the grade of said show? Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Because you're saying shows I'm going to finish. That's what my thought.
We're rating this. We're rating the season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not the individual shows. You know what I mean? Because yes, we are rating individual shows. Say boom, we put them together. If I tell you, oh no, this said show wasn't good enough for me to watch past 3 episodes, that's a rating. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we are on the same page, just different thought process. Yeah.
And I'm saying that like, I know that there's a couple I'm going to finish. Like The Witch and the Beast, I want to give it a chance. I just know I was not feeling it 1, 2, or 3 episodes in, or like 4 or 5. I made it 5 episodes in. I wasn't feeling it. Yeah,
because to be fair, even me for the 3 episodes that I watch of The Foolish Angel and Dances with the Devil, those 3 episodes aren't necessarily an F for me, right? Like, or even the D. I even think it could be like a C minus. So I'm still going to add it to my totaling of the winter season in its entirety. But what I'm not going to do is finish it. Yeah, I guess that's the point I was making. Because with you still finishing the show, I'm like, okay, well, why would you still finish something that's not even to the quality? But what you said makes a whole lot of sense, because it's obviously you want to keep it as objective as possible when it comes to the type of work we do here. So yeah, it makes sense. Now, it's tough to get into this without mentioning the sleepers. I think right now, before we get into the Discord grades, what grades do we give our sleepers? And I'm gonna grade your sleeper first, and you grade my sleeper first.
Hold up.
What?
Hold on, I'm trying to.
Pregnant pauses?
No, I hold up. I gave my sleeper a B minus.
Oh, see, okay. So I gave your sleeper a B plus.
Okay.
I love this show. I did a Once an Adventure is Tale Sleeper, for those of you that don't know.
I love it too.
I absolutely love this show. And even speaking of it objectively, it looks great. I was about to say it runs great, like it's a PC. But when I say it runs great, meaning the pacing of the show is very well done, in my personal opinion. Like it's every episode satiates an appetite within me that is unfulfilled with shows like Shangri-La, or unfulfilled with even sometimes Ragnar Crimson from last season.
Yeah, and it's the level of detail that they give in the show without making it overbearing.
Right. And then, or dropping you into a point like what they could have did is they could have, slight spoilers. They could have dropped us in his boss room in the middle of the fight and then cut the episode. But no, they cut the episode right as they enter it, which is always a tasteful way of leaving cliffhangers, because we understand cliffhangers are ways to get people to come back next week. We understand that better than anybody. But there's a tasteful way of doing it, and there's a untasteful way of doing it.
Yeah.
And they did a fantastic job with the show. All the way up through 1 through 6, I think were great episodes. Now, were they perfect? No, in a sense, absolutely not. But for me, I do think they are a B plus type of show for me. Now,
yeah, I agree, because this is one of those shows that definitely, if it came back for a season 2, is way better than, what did we watch? The one where he was training with like the 3 undead people from years ago and became a cleric or whatever. Faraway Paladin.
Yep. I forgot about that one.
So much better than that. And I remember because that wasn't my sleeper, was it?
No.
That was good.
Could have been.
But regardless, this is one of those ones that I'm like proud of. I'm like, this is like, it was such a pick that I feel like could have easily just gone unnoticed by so many people, but I hope people watch it.
And I still think it does. So I do think a lot of people don't know about it, which is blasphemous, if you will, because it's a great show. It's just a great, with great cast of characters and very likable people. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's likable in this so far, which is unusual for shows like of this caliber. Because again, this falls under the category of stuff like, if I can give you an example of one, this falls under the category of like, what's a good example here? Sorry.
I mean, it's a fantasy.
No, not necessarily like the genre of the show, but the category in which the show, okay, this is the perfect example. This is a Goblin Slayer type of show, or even shows like, what's another one? What's another one where it would fall under? Like the shows that are middling tiers of just anime watches, like, right? Like shows that you wouldn't hear about. Faraway Paladin is another good one.
Grimgar, Fantasy and Ash.
Yep, Grimgar or Deadmau5 Death Play. These are shows that are just mid-tier shows that aren't like the free runs that you will get in the season, but it isn't also like a trash tier show that you will get like a Witch and the Beast. This is like the perfect middling show, but it's a good middling show. And that is the theme within this season. Like the middling shows are
pushing past what that middling idea is.
Yes, though. Exactly right.
It's almost like when MKBHD talk about the flagship phones, and like, let's not talk about that too much, but like you have something that is supposed to be packaged this perfect, like ideal form for an anime, right? This is what people like. People like this. They like fantasy anime and they throw it out there. This one takes that like packaged concept, but it's like, okay, let's actually do it in our own way. And it delivers in so many like positive ways.
It's just a middling anime that's above middling. Like it's supposed to be mid, right? But it's not. Like same example, going into my sleeper, may sound egotistical, but I give my sleeper an A. I think it's deserving of an A. I think the storytelling is brilliant. I think the characters are even more brilliant. I think the show is beautiful. Like this is top shelf animation and top shelf writing and character development so far at this point. So I don't think it's wrong to say that this is an A.
Yeah, I get that thing an A.
Did you?
It was easy. It was super easy. The show itself, obviously, first episode, like I said, not even first episode, it was the second episode. I was not sure if I was gonna like the male main character.
Yeah.
And then ever since, it's literally just been like, nah, he's good.
It all makes sense, yeah.
And it turned around so fast, and of like a sense of this entirety of this show is so wholesome, so friendly,
yes,
but still has like some level of like intrigue. Yeah. It is a good show. So yeah, I gave it an A.
Yeah, I think I mean, it's literally just a typical Polo ass anime, but I don't know what it is about this one that just feels, it's the same but different, you know? In a lot of ways, it's reminiscent of a lot of shows that are just the same. But I don't know if that makes any sense, but it just feels different. And we haven't even gotten to any drama whatsoever. Like it's just been pleasantries, which I'm alright with. Did
you want to bring up Christians or Death Scythe and TCB, what they said about the season?
And don't forget about T Money Fingers. He in there.
Oh, yes. T Money. Yes. Which one you start with first?
I can't see him, so it's up to you.
All right, I'm gonna start with TCB. It's been an 8 out of 10 for me. If counting ongoing continue though, not counting continuing stuff, probably a 7.5, if generous. So that's more like a C.
Yep.
Middle C to low C. Nothing that's not continuing has been really standing out on the same upper echelon level. Free Rent and Diaries, which is so hard to compare anything to.
Yeah, which you can't count for this season because it didn't come out this season. But
that wouldn't be fair to those for what I said, since those were in the fall.
Yep.
So Danger Season 2, 7-time loop, solo leveling, A. And Sign of Affection looks to be the standout this season among the majority. As far as personal enjoyment, though, technically it's also continuing Undead Unluck, but been one of those sleepers for me that unfortunately won't get as many eyes on it due to its distribution. Kamazaki Season 2, Mashle Season 2, Hokkaido Gals, Buchigiri, Weakest Tamer, and Tis Time for Torture Princess. I really forgot to look at that one. But my personal favorites overall, out of what I'm watching so far, I'm behind on Sign of Affection, but that's on that level of top of the season, which obvious. But yeah, he said a 7.5. What you think about that?
And I'm gonna just keep it real with you, TCB. I don't understand the score at all. How is it a C when you mention everything you mentioned? You said, I guess he said it doesn't stand out to him so far, but that's insane to me. So you're gonna have to clarify that a little bit more in the Discord. I'm sure you will when you hear this episode, because I'm blown back, because everything you mentioned is clearly B or above, roughly, right, except for the stuff I'm not watching that you are, obviously. But I don't know. We're gonna have to talk deeper into that one.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, but I don't know. I agree with you too. That 7, even a 7.5 just seems like,
because that's what we gave last season. Do you have last season's grades? I think I pull them. I can pull them up. Go ahead.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm gonna talk on Death Scythe or Christian. I'm going 8.5 out of 10 or B plus. 7-time loop, solo leveling, Tales of Wedding Rings, and Unwanted Undead Adventure are hard carrying. While Dangers in My Heart, Sign of Affection, Strongest Tank, Sasaki and Peeps, which also is another good one. We can say the wrong way to use healing magic are scratching the itch where the hard carries don't. Hey, that kind of sound like facts though, like he's spitting. Including the second seasons and the continuing. A, easily. Weakest Tamer being a welcoming surprise. Oof, if we were too late, I forget. Okay, yeah. But yeah, so I agree more with Christian, aka Death Scythe, because I think he's at a point there. The ones that are hard carrying, like he said, and I would even throw, like I said, I would throw in Hokkaido Girls, Dangers in My Heart, Sign of Affection, Strongest Tank, Sasaki and Peeps, Weakest Tamer, and The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, because those are all like, I'm excited to watch shows this season for me.
Yes.
I'm not going to say they're necessarily guaranteed A specifically for all of those, but A Sign of Affection is A plus. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. It's damn near a perfect slice of life so far, or at least perfect for me so far.
I'm going to mention our fall midterm grades at the end, but if you can go to T Money Fingers and then we just go into ours, that'd be perfect. Because that's what
okay. And T Moneyfingers sound a little like Polow. T Moneyfingers says this has to be the most fire mid-season in years. Solo, 7th-time loop, Signs of Affection, Apothecary, Free Rent, Undead Adventure, Fluffy Paradise, Delicious in Dungeon, the goat of all shows right now, Dangers in My Heart, pure gas. I can easily write something about each show, but to make it short and sweet, I would give this mid-season an A or 9 out of 10 for me. Sheer quantity of shows and quality of most of them good shit. Nice having a community of people that are into it as much as I am. Of course,
Money. Let me tell you something, Money, and this is the perfect place to put it. I am way more optimistic than probably most people are about this season, including my brother Tell. Like, this is easy because when I look at this list of shows, even Moonlit Fantasy is on its 5th episode, so I'm gonna go ahead and count it. I love that show. That's a B+. Hokkaido Girls, I already said that's an A. Bottom tier character Tomazaki, A. Like, I'm absolutely loving this season so far. Flawless. I caught up on Classroom of the Elite season 3. I'm loving that. That's also an A. Delicious in Dungeon, while it does put me to sleep, that's a B still. You know what I'm saying? Chain Soldiers, come on, man. You know, I'm cultured. You know what I'm saying? Chain Soldiers is about it clean.
That too.
A clean B. You know what I'm saying? And then you got again the bottom, even the bottom of the middling tiers. We're talking, and my instant death ability is overpowered. Still probably a B-, C+ area. Sasaki and Peeps. I love this show. This is a B+ for me. Undid Unwanted Adventure, I already gave y'all my grade on that. What a fantastic show. Great sleeper pigtail. The Weakest Tamer began to pick up trash. This is another one of those ones that's supposed to be in the bottom mid tier of shows, but it is in the upper half of it, which is another B. It's wrong way of using healing magic. Am I crazy for saying that this is a B+?
No. But I have so few C's, bro.
Yeah,
I have almost no C's.
That's my
all
point.
The C's I have are like plus.
That is my point, Tell. You take the words right out of my mouth, because even Tales of Wedding Rings, while the animation quality isn't quite there, show is fantastic, man. It's fantastic for other reasons on top of main reasons. But Rob J says, I don't give a fuck about the plot of these shows. I am enjoying the plot. Like, literally, like the figurative plot and the literal plot of this show, I'm enjoying so much, man. Sure, for real. And then, as everybody else said, A Sign of Affection is clearly, it could have been episode of the week this week with this most recent episode. It was so sweet and just heartwarming. Great show. That's an A. Solo Leveling, A. This episode, Solo Leveling, could have been episode of the week. I absolutely love that episode.
Yep.
Dangers in My Heart is an A.
That could have been episode of the week.
Could have been episode of the week. And then again, we're going back.
So that's what I wanted to say too, real quick. I just want to interject real quick. I'm not going to say nothing too much, but that's why this week felt like a heat week. So many of these episodes stepped up the animation this week.
Yes.
Like, I wanted to say a Chain Soldier. I don't really like that anime. I watch it. It's cool. It ain't even bad. Sure. It's not even bad. But this week, the animation was just on another level.
It was fire.
And it wasn't the fact that and it's not even like they did anything too bad or too big, but like it is so like, it's actually really clean. That's what it is. It's like so clean. And in comparison to shows that you would normally think about like this, it looks phenomenal. The CGI isn't super harsh all the time. There's only like certain moments when the CGI is supposed to be like really big.
And it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like literally like when they do the pop out half CGI, half like, flat art, it looks good. This show, Chain Soldier, for what it is crazy that it is getting the quality that it has. It's like, come on, bro. Is this? I literally enjoy it, and again, not for the figurative plot, but the literal plot, because of where it seems to be going. And what I do with my grades too is I not only gauge it for what we got so far, but where I think it's going to go. And what I'm seeing with I guess slight spoilers, but with the humanoids, I guess I'm gonna say in this alternate world. I think that's going to be more interesting than it is what we got so far. So I'm looking forward to that. But to go back to the list, and again, another show that's on the bottom half of the middling part, but it's still probably a good C+ is the Strongest Tank's Labyrinth Raids
it's just the strongest tank. I'm gonna just call it the strongest tank because the title is fucking about a paragraph long. The strongest tank, I am enjoying. I am enjoying. Now again, this is probably the weakest of the shows, but I still consider like a C plus. You know what I'm saying?
It actually has very good like, and to me, it could just be me. I don't think it's just me, but the story is still there.
Yes,
and that's what's killing it, is that a lot of the fact that the story is prevalent, is clear. They're telling us what the story is without making it like overly convoluted and making it like dumbed down. It has like the perfect, like so many of these anime are hitting the spot for the story itself.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah, even the strongest tank to me, I'm just like, bro, since episode 1, I loved it. It was on point. Like personally, I love it. I can see why, yes, C plus, B minus range. But I love the show. I wouldn't even call it a guilty pleasure. It's just a pleasure.
It's an absolute pleasure. Another pleasure is Fluffy Paradise. This show is an A for me. I don't know if people, not enough people are watching it. It is the cutest thing of all time. Like it is wonderful, and it's like way more deep than you would think. You think this is a little girl whose power is to just want to pet fluffy things, but it has a deeper narrative that is so intriguing in a world that's super interesting. I swear Fluffy Paradise is worth the watch for anybody. If you're not watching it, watch Fluffy Paradise. And then continue on to the last two, which would be Banished from a Hero's Party. That's hidden everything I love from season 1, but even more so because of like when anime depicts couples right, it's so much more enjoyable, and that's what I love to see in Banished from a Hero's Party. And then Seventh Time Loop, it is the number one show that is not a season 2 this season for me, like the absolute best show, which is an A plus. So
it is crazy.
I want y'all to think about what my score is going to be. Y'all could probably tell what it is, but
I think I know what your score is.
Yeah, I think you know too. Because when I put it in perspective, when I go to miccheckwaifuwaifu.com and I look at the scores we gave fall, holy hell were we wrong. Because that ended up being, for both of us, you gave it a B plus and I gave it a B. Let that sink in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's not to say like, because in the moment, we didn't feel like that. Sure. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But, and hear me out, that's why like these speed bumps and speed checks are so important.
100%. Yes.
Because now we can attest to the quality of this season specifically in comparison to, you know, other seasons' qualities. And it's like, oh, well, this doesn't seem like the highest of qualities, but for the quality we get, and this is hitting. You know what I mean?
Yes. I just looking at everything. Yeah, looking at last season's notes, there's no chance, which was, I don't think that we were doing as detailed of notes as we're doing now, but there's Berserker Gluttony, MF Go, like these shows have nothing on the shows we have now. But again, like you said, this is why the speed bumps are important, and it's for us to go back and you know, reevaluate, you know. And I'm blessed to say that I don't know, Toa, if you want to go ahead and give your grades on stuff, or because I kind of just went through and shouted out a bunch of my.
All right, so here we go. That's what I did. Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy, I gave a B. Hokkaido Girls, A. Classroom of the Elite, B. Delicious in Dungeon, A minus. Chain Soldier, B. Instant Death Ability is overpowered, C plus. Sasaki and Peeps, C plus. Okay, Unwanted Undead Adventure, B minus. The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, hear me out.
Oh my God, what a show. Did I even mention that? I think I did.
I gave it a B plus. Tales of Wedding Rings, B. A Sound of Affection, A plus. Soul Leveling, A.
Yeah.
Dangers in My Heart, A. Strongest Tank, B plus.
Mm.
Banishment Heroes Party, B. Seventh Time Loop, A.
So A minus for Tell overall, and for me, it's an A. I don't. I'm with T Moneyfingers. This has been probably the best midway season I've ever experienced since we started doing this podcast. And maybe I can go back to previous seasons and come back to y'all next week. But I wholeheartedly believe that this is the best midway point of an anime season I've had ever, and the first time I've ever given anything an A. So, I feel confident about that. I feel absolutely confident about that. Now, again, there's still 6 more episodes for a lot of these shows, or in some cases, so it could all go to shit. Will it? I don't think so. I don't think 7th Time Loop can just turn into a complete Kingdoms of Ruin for us or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's possible. So,
and just to add to this fact that the season is that good is the fact that we literally have shows like Apothecary Diaries and Frieren that carried over and are still entirely too good to be categorized with anything that's regular. You know what I mean? Right. And this season is still that good to kind of, keep up. I'm not saying they're exactly on that level with like Frieren or anything like that, but this season is actually really good.
I can honestly say, like, fall was Apothecary Diaries and Frieren. That's just fall, and that's probably why fall got a B and B plus from us, like, respectively. So it's 2 shows carried the whole thing. This time, though,
it's a bunch of carrying by a bunch of folks.
You can arguably say about 8 of these shows is high tier. Now, not Frieren high tier, because Frieren high tier is on the upper echelon and Apothecary Diaries is on that level too. But like the highest tier under those, like, right, dude, it's shocking. It's shocking. I'm very happy that 7th Time Loop has opened my eyes to shoujo, because again, or josei or whatever. Because now I'm watching stuff like Fluffy Paradise, and when I tell you I'm enjoying the show so much, man, I promise Tell you would love this show if you watch it.
I said it to watch him, bro.
Please do. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
I'm tired of hearing about it.
It's so good. It's so good. So I'm honestly saying this is the easiest A I gave to anything ever. But to wrap everything up, what are we spoiling this week?
A 7th Time Loop.
Okay, I like that. I like where your head's at.
A Sign of Affection.
I'm with that too. We need a gut check for that one.
Maybe Solo Leveling.
Yes. Well, a little bit harder for us to talk about that one, being as we read it.
We did already kind of do that anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So we don't have a second run through of Solo Leveling.
Yeah. Let's do, actually, I got an idea. The Dangers in My Heart, because I want to go check that too. Okay.
So what's the order? We're going to start off with
7th Time Loop, Sign of Affection, and then Dangers in My Heart. I got a pretty nice song. I wonder if I'm going to get blown back by YouTube, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to try it anyway. We'll be right back after these.
Seven, 3, 7, but different plans. I'm out of pocket, but you out of place. Walk in the dealership, know about my name. Never was for this lifestyle I'm in. You gon' need calling, these shots out to you. You got me falling, I stepped up the view. She got me fucked up all type of ways. 2 different lovers and nothing the same. I'm running around like a back at the corner. I let the cat out, she back in pursuit. Just by my bag now, no begging, no choosing. I cut it out like a back at the corner. Lately you been talking to me well. Lately baby feel like nothing real. Lately, baby, feel like nothing real. Lately, baby, feel like nothing will. You ain't willing to get out the way. This is never for me, never blame. I was feeling tired of be the way. I was feeling and you gon' wait off on me. And you gon' wait off on me. Don't wait, don't wait, don't wait off on me. And you gon' wait off on me. And you gon' wait off on me. Don't wait, don't wait. I'm running round, I get back in the cooler. I let the cat out, she back in pursuit. Just by my back now, and I'm back in the choosing. I caught it out, I get back in the cooler. Lately you been talking to me, what? Lately baby feel like I'm in real. Lately baby feel like I'm in real. Lately baby feel like I'm in real. You ain't willing to get out of work. This is never for me, never been. I was feeling tired of being away.
And welcome back to episode 240 of Mic Check Waifu. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at Polow Bornfly at King Telliano. We appreciate it. All right. Now it's time to spoiler talk for the 7th time loop. The greatest shoujo ever. No, I'm just playing. I don't know if it is. It's probably more shoujo out there. It's maybe better. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Taking off. It's crazy.
I can't believe it only has a 76. I don't fucking get it. Sometimes analysts, it's just wrong. Objectively, subjectively, it's just wrong. 7th time loop is a perfect show to me. And I mean that.
I understand. I understand when you say you mean it, you mean it. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but I don't know what's not perfect about it.
Now, I say, what could be wrong with it?
You let me finish my statement.
What's wrong with it?
We not about to sit here and fight like this.
I want to know.
I'm not gonna say it's a perfect show because the perfect show for me is different than the perfect show for Polow. I'm not saying it's not perfect. It is. It's very different. It's very different.
Okay,
the pacing to me is on point. I agree. The characters, I love every characters.
The animation is beautiful.
The animation is on point. The score, they did this moment in this specific episode when like we thought that like the brother was about to die. We thought he was gonna do have his martyrdom, his suicide moment. Call the hotline if you need it. But basically, the depth of the silence they gave us, and they even went the extra step. Instead of like just giving us basic silence, they pushed the bass and the white noise out to like emphasize that sense of nothingness in the room. Mm-hmm. I was like, yo, this anime fucking crazy.
It's perfect. It's a perfect show. It's then even like the conversations between like the brother and everything that we mentioned as far as like the prior what we call it, the gut check that we had, it was on point with it. While it being predictable as it was, it still managed to subvert that prediction with something even more.
Yeah, it took both of our predictions to another level.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that it sucks, right? Because the brother is quite literally a martyr. He's setting himself up to be a martyr. Our main male protagonist. And it's like Arnold, yes. I love these brothers. I do.
Yeah.
I think I want the best for everybody in this show so far, except for the first prince that she married.
It's so perfect because of he's, like you said, he set himself up to be a martyr in order to essentially, we don't really know the details of that yet, but I'm gonna just swing into a gut check now, I think it's to go against his father. I think there's something with his father he's trying to either go around or fix that's going wrong within this kingdom. We don't know it yet, but it's something with his father that I think he's going to like sacrifice himself for, and I find that to be extremely interesting because he's taking on a lot right now. It seems like it's a lot that he's taking in, and he's intentionally making himself to be this evil guy while still taking care of the kingdom in the background in a way that nobody knows he is, but he is. So much intrigue, and I was just going to say, there's just so much intrigue within him as a character. It's fascinating.
Arnold seems to me like the perfect Prince King kind of character.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't want recognition for the positive. He wants the positive to be shed. He wants that light to be shed on other people. His words, they even brought up the fact that he said that the ambition or drive to be my wife, you don't need that. Like, those mean things that meant something. So like, even for those words to recompromise themselves or come back up in this episode, it felt like we have to pay attention to every detail now.
100%.
And we should have been obviously from the beginning,
but in a different way.
Like you said, like you said, I feel like I agree with what you're saying about the father. It has to be the father or the mother, one of them. They have this position, and I feel like I feel like it's going to end up being the mother more so.
Well, she's dead.
But there has to be something tied to that, is what I guess. Okay. I'm saying like something with the mother, and I believe that has to tie into our main characters and why he is kind of looking at everything this way. Because I even feel like when he said, I see, and to me, what it feels like he can see in the grand scheme of things is that she's going to change or attempt to change everything that comes across. And it's not even necessarily change it, but make it known, identify what the problem is, find it. She's going to try and find out what the overarching issue is. And that has found so many solutions in this anime. And that's kind of, I feel like, why we both enjoy this so much, is that like, you're not hiding nothing directly from her. She's not stupid. But none of the characters we've been presented with are kind of like stupid. You know what I mean? It's been such a good, I don't know, bro. There's nothing not perfect about the anime. I receive what I said.
There it is. Because you can't look at anything objectively and find a problem. Because even again, Rise, like when you put into perspective, she lived 6 other lives that were some fuller than others. She seemed, and it's I guess because it was like in a I guess people don't really realize it because it was presented to us in a montage-esque way, and it was kind of sped through. But she's lived 6 lives that was, how can I say it? That was very detailed. Yeah, very detailed and different in many ways. She experienced many different things, but that all resulted in the same death. While the supernatural aspect of this show isn't even anywhere near my mind, there's still that element of this show too that we know nothing about.
And that's what makes it so beautiful, is that those are completely unexplored to us, but they mean so much to the story. But the fact that they are unexplored just gives so much depth to our main character, to Riche. It gives so much depth to her character because she stands alone in that. Yeah. As far as we know, no one else has that experience, and she's utilizing it so expertly, obviously. It is a really good show, Polow.
It's amazing. I truly can't find a flaw within it. Dude, it's so crazy how everything we said, even down to the fact that she knew that they was going to kidnap her, like the whole thing. And then when she started talking to Theodore about how you actually kidnap people, and then it kept flashing back to when she was breaking out and the way she moved. It was incredible, man.
She a demon in herself, bro.
Demon, bro. It was incredible. It was the most perfect cap to just this particular arc, I guess you can call it, which was just 3 episodes essentially of the little brother. But the little brother and the older brother relationship, again, like you, I love it because it's reasonable for both sides. Go ahead.
Heateth, weaketh. It's a heat week.
Oh, heateth, weaketh. Oh,
it was everything about that episode was fire, bro.
Yeah.
Everything about it, the breakdown, the understanding the brothers' ambitions and their like polar opposites, but while contrary, they love each other. And like even the way that Rish got him to bring out that like and demonstrate the fact that he actually loves his brother and talk about things. It
made their relationship stronger. And
show is damn near therapy.
Yeah, and he seemed appreciative to Rish about that too. Like it was.
I'm telling you,
it was flawless. Who wrote this show? I need to
a god or goddess.
Toiko Amikawa, and it's the only thing they've ever written. Wow,
but they good so far. Keep doing this. Keep doing this.
Oh wait, no, there's other stuff. There's a couple of other stories that seemed. She's special. Yeah, this lady's special. Okay. Moving on. What's next? I forget that fast. Damn.
Hokkaido Gals.
Yes. Was that was okay?
Oh wait, hold on. No, it was a sign of affection. Sorry.
Sign of affection. Okay. I mean, this is every season. There's always that show that has the turning point, and this is this show's turning point.
This show is already good, bro.
Yeah, straight up.
It was already really good. But like you said, the idea of there actually being a solidified, verified, agreed upon relationship, it always elevates the I guess the continuity of the show, if that makes sense.
Yes, 100% does.
It gives it something to focus on as an actual, like, this is either a problem or they're building, right? Where the problem becomes, okay, how do we coincide with each other, or where do we go from here? Yep. We are unaware of each other. Now, they already had the problem where he doesn't speak sign language. He doesn't understand her completely. And now we're slowly getting past that barrier, not completely, but I just love how the show is incrementally getting past that barrier while getting to this point in such a adult and like respectable manner.
I think the most important piece of this episode, personally for me, was the conversation between Koya and Itsuomi. Them two, when they were in the bar, he was like, "Listen, I don't know what you're doing with Yuki, or if you want a relationship with her, or how you are in a relationship. What is it that you're doing? Because I think you shouldn't hurt this girl." And essentially what he says in so few words, but just that conversation was so impactful, not only to like the show, but to who he is. And I think is what led him to make the decision to then push to say, let's become a couple to her. You know what I'm saying? Because he's finding himself to be much more than just interested in who this person who he's never experienced is. He wants to be a part of her life. And I thought that shit was dope. And in that conversation with him realizing that, it was awesome. And
her own worries about integrating into being a part of his life. She doesn't want to make his world smaller. She doesn't want to
bro.
The thing is that this man loves you, and he already feels like what you're doing. I'm not gonna say he loves you because we don't truly know, but to me, this looks like love. 100%. I'm gonna say that this man has let you broaden his horizons already, and you're someone who has been completely different to what he's used to. Maybe even contrary. So it's like, of course, he's excited to bring you in on his experiences and all those different things. But you're right. That conversation is important. And I feel like going forward, the real problems we're going to run into are going to be with
Emma.
You said Emma?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's between
Emma and Oshi.
Oh, that's what you gonna think it's gonna be?
Oh yeah, Oshi being Yuki's friend who learned sign language and who used to bully her like the guy in the silent voice and who really is just there to try to help her feel as normal as possible. And Emma being the girl that is in love with Itomi.
I feel like so, and here this is kind of a gut check. I feel like Itomi is obviously gonna get jealous.
Okay.
I feel that, and I could be wrong, but I definitely feel like he's gonna get jealous.
I like that thought though.
He's gonna present a contrary force, and him revealing something like, "I've always wanted you, but I just thought it was my responsibility to watch you from afar and protect you," something like that. You know what I mean? Those childish relationships, like I could have never thought. I feel like there's going to be something integrated into there.
Wait, you said Itomi is going to do that? The white hair guy?
Is that his name? No, Oshi.
Oshi. Okay, yeah. You said Itomi at first.
The one he grew up with.
Yeah, that's Oshi.
Yeah, but I'm saying that he's going to create a contrary force to Itomi. You know what I mean? Like they've already kind of like butted heads in a more like psychological sense. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's going to be that continued pressure applied.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think it's going to be as effective as what Emma's going to do, because I think your gut check is spot on with that particular subplot of the show. But I do think the Emma crush with Itomi is going to be worse. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the way she tried to yell out, "Oh, and thank you for the key," trying to make Yuki jealous or whatever, even though she couldn't hear. Like, that piece made it seem like, to me, for my particular gut check for Emma, is I think Emma is going to do something like kiss Itomi in front of Yuki, and Yuki's not going to really understand what's going on, and she's going to be heartbroken and sad to no ends. And unfortunately, that's going to be the mess that needs to be fixed, unfortunately. You know, exactly. Exactly. So
hear me out. Because I can see that happening. But I actually thought that was going to happen because I saw the moment. Like,
your mouth's cutting out. What you say?
Oh, my bad. I was saying that I thought that was going to happen a lot sooner. I did not think that in let's say going forward. But I can see it happening. And the issue with that is 100% the fact that she seems like she's that childish.
Yep.
It's like, come on, bro. You're a hater. And I'm hoping that that's not the case, because I would rather already have. I mean, she's a designated hater already, because it looks like we definitely have two possible haters in this mix.
100%. And I think Oshi's a little bit different, because he's protective, it seems. But I think Emma is, like you said, is immature, and I think she can't seem to take no or understand that it's not that for him with her, and because of that, it tends to make women do crazy things. Yeah, you know.
I think we know that experience.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Moving on. Last but certainly not least,
Dragon's Dogma season 2. So, my bad. This is an anime podcast.
I thought Dragon's Dogma got a season 2 because that is a Netflix show, by the way. A Netflix anime.
Dangers in My Heart, episode 6, Polow.
Holy shit, man. Is this another perfect show? Yes. No, okay, this season is perfect. Last season wasn't perfect because the beginning was very weird. But when you put it all as a one package, it makes sense, because it's all about character growth for a character who is antisocial, who is me against the world, who is shut in within his own. This episode 6 opens all of that up.
I swear it does. And the open up was like even to the point where like we see the progress of him taking notes so he doesn't come across as antisocial. I'm just like, yo, it is just 100% that character growth. I do. I love this show too. This is another, and this one was episode of the week quality. Another one of those Heat Week episodes, bro. This one felt impactful because we got that commencement speech essentially.
For somebody who we knew wouldn't do a good job. He did it without the commencement speech. He freestyled the end of it, and it turned out to be wonderful. It turned out to be excellent. And that commencement speech, literally, it obviously didn't cry, but it welled up emotion that I felt within me that you don't really feel often in shows. And I felt it. I'm like, yes, man, that shit is so fucking cool. It's so cool to see him, of all people, do something like this. And then at the end, him basically fall apart. But it was wonderful to see because let me just tell y'all, okay, from somebody who has social anxiety, when you do, it was the same for me. Whenever I would talk on a conference call or talk in like a public setting, when it came to like when I was managing T-Mobile, it was exhausting when I was done. Like I was ready to die, go to sleep, and just curl up in a ball and die. But it was special to see that, and then to get the closure between this one guy who seems to be like a fucking gnat to our guy that essentially who you would consider to be Yamada's type, right? Or not type, but level.
Haruya.
Yeah, to be on her level, for lack of a better words. But we finally got a wrap to that in the midway point of the season, which means that it's nothing but growth from here, between our two characters. Now at the end, gut check, Till, do you think they got together?
Oh yeah, for sure. Sure.
You think she told him she liked him?
I think he said it.
Interesting. I like that. I like where you're at.
Because it's that
he just did a love don't cost a thing for the podcast. Listen, he just did a love don't cost a thing dance.
But I feel like he gained confidence. You know what I mean?
Yes. After hearing
I feel like that's what all of this is. All of this is a show of him gaining confidence in social environments, but also he's already been talking to her in general. This whole season itself has been more outside of his box than it was in the previous season.
Yes.
So this to me just looks like an expansion on that. And
you know what I love?
What's that, bro?
When they bring in the music, the piano, and it cuts to the title, and they put the words on the screen. That shit, because they do that at a time where it's the most impactful. Or whatever the episode situation is, it's whatever lesson he learned that gets the emphasis by using that. What is it, Karate 19 or whatever? I think I think it's just episode. Is that just episode number? I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it always say like KRATE, and then it has a number after it. And whenever it does that, it has basically the episode title, and it goes further into what like the capstone of whatever the situation is or the issue is. And I think it's the most special shit because it gives me chills every time that happens. Like goosebumps, not chills necessarily, but goosebumps when that happens, because it comes in at the perfect time, because when they said Yamada likes me, fucking chills, bro. Chills. And then when she said, sorry, I don't have enough room to hold it, when he was trying to give her his button, it was just fucking perfect, man. It was effortless. It was flawless. It was amazing to see that they're finally starting to come into their own and realize what this is they have for each other. Including when any other girl touched Yamada, you could see it in her face. She ain't for that shit.
Yeah, bro.
Which is funny to think about, because you go back a couple of episodes back and you just look at her mom and her dad. They're like her and him. It's so fucking hilarious.
Yeah, they are though. But obviously that's why it makes sense.
100%.
Unless our dude grew up to be a giant muscle bound quiet psycho as well.
What a perfect episode. But this has been a perfect episode. I'm at Polow Bornfly on all social media.
I'm at King Telliano on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mike Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mike Check Waifu on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And as always, Mike Check.
Rocket Launcher.
Boom!
You're now tuned into Mike Check Waifu Waifu. Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you?